Good morning, bros. Firstly, I just want to tell you, I hope that everyone has an amazing day on today. And thank you. Thank you so very much for being a part of this. We are that generation where we were coming up and there were the men in the neighborhood or in the village, in the community that was helping us to kind of find our way. We have become that. And with the technology that we have today that we didn't have during that time, we could do so much more than just what what we received. And I think that that is a charge that all of us collectively can take up so that it's not too much of a burden, that it doesn't begin to feel like a chore. I'm excited about it because we get to do so much more. It's so much to be excited about because we get to shape the future generations. And it is a matter of acceptance. So it's only those that will accept it, but we get the opportunity to shape that, and that's very exciting. It sounds on the surface like it's hard to do, but it's really not. It's just us taking what we're doing, paying more attention to it, and then offering it to another group of men or individuals. And I am excited about that um, because I think this will be a very, very, very good thing. So what this is a virtual mentorship program, essentially where we'll act as facilitators. We'll get online using some type of video chat, and I think Zoom is a very great application to use. And there may be other applications out there, so please, please, please let me know. I would like to get introduced to them, build my wealth of knowledge. And again, it's a way, not the way. Anything I offer is a way. I want us to all be able to share in this, and that actually take me back. So let me back up. Um, I want to get away from the Eurocentric way of leading and thinking where there has to be one person at the top and everyone else falls in line. No, I want to get back to the Afrocentric way of thinking where we all serve each other. And the only person above us or the only entity above us is God. So as we look at this thing in a round robin, I learn from you, you learn from me. And likewise, even with the participants that may be on this call, we're not teaching them, we're facilitating. So we're throwing questions out there where it jogs their mind, and they can kind of give us some of the lessons learned from maybe some of the men that were in their lives that had a way or even a better way of doing things. And again, it's a way, not the way. So it's all about what we accept. We don't have to accept any of this, but it's really good just to get the knowledge out there. And it's almost like going to a supermarket or a mall. Say you're going clothing shopping and they just have one rack of t-shirts. Not likely that you're going to go back to that store. But say you go to this store and they have hundreds of racks of shirts and different types of shirts, polos, button-ups, cardigans, I don't know, turtlenecks, like all kinds of clothing. More chances than not, you're going to go back to that kind of store. And that's kind of what we want to be and kind of what we want to foster in. We want to foster information from everyone, from the collective. That way we can have so many things to choose from. And just like any clothing store, you don't pick up every item that you see in that clothing store. You kind of get a feel for it and see what works for you. And it's like, oh yeah, I like that. That works for me. I'm gonna put this into my bag. And we're gonna kind of foster the same thing. We want to facilitate the same thing. We really just want to get men talking again so that we can restore the brotherhood, and foster responsibility, and not being able to identify whose responsibility is what, and began to charge ourselves to take on that responsibility and carry out the work of God. Um, if there's anything that we may be lacking in this conversation, I ask that someone chime in and just say, "Oh yeah," and I thought this is what we were gonna go into. So again, going back to the Zoom call, I'm hoping that we can get on a Zoom call. And the reason I kind of was thinking in this way was Q and I were looking at a post, and it said something about like what dads say versus how dads feel on the inside. And that hit home for me. It Coach Q, excuse me. And that hit home for me because right now I'm without my children. And although I'm going through all this training to make a better life for my children, and we're developing training to make better lives for our children, um, it really touched me in a way because I didn't have my father. And I know how just a small bit of time without a man around could perpetuate a lot of different types of habits. One thing I wanted to do was learn from others and ways to bond and or build bond with my children. Some people look at me and say, "Man, you got an amazing bond," and I do, but it can always be better. So I just want to be the absolute best father for my children, and I know that I can look at other ways, very innovative ways to interact with my children, even virtually. So, and honestly, thank you, Coach Q, for this video idea. I'm gonna start sending videos to my children each day so that they can learn from dad, and they can understand that I am a part of dad through whatever vine that may be. And when they get this information and it starts to seek in for my children, and it shows that my children has gotten it, then I think that other parents will be more susceptible to allowing their children to go through the program. With the Zoom call, if we have like 10 people on the call, then I don't think it should be an issue with people chiming in after the question is posed and asked. What we're looking to do is like ask a main talking point. Get others to talk on it for a certain amount of time, and then move on from that talking point. Well, while we're facilitating this, it may grow. We're expecting it will grow. We're expecting a growth, and as it grows, we may have to have people like put up a hand sign emoji or type in their name in their talking point, and we can call them on as the facilitators. That way, we can kind of control the madness. Another thing we were looking at is 3 facilitators, no more than 3 speaking facilitators at a time. So if we could get 3 facilitators to run that course of that month, then that's like one person maybe doing 2 facilitations, being the host, and then having a co-host, and then switch out. The other person becomes the host, and then 2 co-hosts, and so on and so forth. And we can even possibly have 4 facilitators on the call, but what we don't want to do is have too many facilitators on the call, and then we don't have control of ourselves. We can't collect ourselves. So having 1 host and 2 co-hosts, at the very most 3 co-hosts, in order to facilitate these calls. That way, essentially, we end up doing hosting as a main host 2 facilitation per year. So what I want us to be able to do is when we are the host and we're given a talking point, we actually do some studying on that talking point, understand some statistics on that talking point, or even maybe read a book on that talking point. That way we're the subject matter experts. So if someone in the chat does have a question, we can better facilitate by being able to answer that. Or if someone in the chat is providing some wrong information, we could kind of reel everyone back in by saying, well, that's a good example where that may be a one-off, or I've never seen that. The way I understood it is this, or where I read something from maybe a professional has spoken on a topic is this, and this. So let us become the subject matter expert, at least have a working knowledge of what it is we're talking about, so that when we're facilitating, we don't lose credibility or reputation. Also, with that being said, we can still have other facilitators call in just to absorb the knowledge and collect that knowledge. I will tell you, I will absolutely try to be on every single call because I want to learn of what's going on in our world. I put up a post a while back, maybe like 2 weeks ago, that said, if you want to know about the past, ask an elder. If you want to know about the future, as children. And when I talk about children, I don't just mean a child in age. I mean meek, somebody that don't know much about something, or somebody that's trying to learn something about something, or somebody stepping into a new world of something. When you learn from them, you kind of know where the world is heading, because you know where our children are at. So when you look at the children today and you see where they are, it's a very, very scary place. They're not they're smarter than we are, but they don't have the same level of responsibility that we had by far, in certain areas. You ask a child, if you want to learn about family, if you want to learn about yourself, ask your family. You want to learn about family, ask your friends. And this is very important that we understand this concept, to realize that we don't know it all. God has imparted knowledge into everyone in a different way, and one of the best ways to take in some of that knowledge is that we humble ourselves unto Him, that we can receive of others, if that makes sense. So that's the reason behind doing these calls, the way we hope to move forward in it. Now, Coach Q brought up a very good point that I wholeheartedly agree with, and I want to get you all's thoughts on. Our very first Zoom call will be this Thursday, and this is where we all meet and greet each other. Also, we need to, and I need to hurry up and get names. So I need 3 names of people who want to take on this first month. If And then on the Zoom call, you'll kind of see how it'll all work. So if there's any questions, and if no one's like really pressed about getting in there, I'll go ahead and get in there, and I'll take on the first call. That way, no one. That way, if we have any questions, or if there's anything that kinks need to be worked out, you can all direct them to me at that time. So I'm fine with that, unless someone else is just like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm ready to get some stuff out. So we'll do a Zoom call this Thursday as a meet and greet. Also, which he brought up another very good point. By inviting other people in on the first call, we can allow them to just talk, and we can take in some of the problem areas or push points that they may have. So that's really good way to collect data and say, okay, these are some of the things going on in the world we really, really need to talk about. And we could go ahead and immerse ourselves in some training and understanding. Or it could be a way where we can determine who amongst us already have working knowledge or expert knowledge in that area. So it's perfect. But again, that's this Thursday at 1900 or 7 p.m. Now, I have this little, I just wrote this on the start of this call, or just before the start of this call. And again, this is a way, not the way. One of the ways a lot of professionals kind of pass messages, especially in this manner, is we greet, we thank, we inform, we ask, we thank, we greet. So it's something like, hey, good morning. Thank you for taking the time to be on this call. Today we're going to talk about, and then we talk about it. And then when we're done, we just talked about. And then you're going to ask, what are some things that, whatever, or hey, what are some things that I'm missing? Thank you once again for taking this call. I know that you all have busy schedules, and have a good day. So we're going to greet, thank, inform, ask, thank, greet. I really appreciate y'all once more for taking your time to help to empower men and better our society. Please let me know what we can do to make this thing better. Don't be a stranger, and have an amazing day if I don't hear from you today. I hope to hear from you all today. Thank you.